Welcome, welcome, welcome. Raw and Roasted, episode 15. Yes, episode 15. We're now doing something a little different. We're now in person.
Look at us.
Yeah, we're stepping up in the world, Um but yeah. So I don't really know. Well, yeah. One Direction.
We're just gonna jump right into it.
Right, we're just gonna jump right into it. I don't know if anybody else has heard, but Liam from One Direction has died. RIP to him. Apparently, he had jumping off a building of a hotel, I believe in Las Vegas. It was somewhere over on the West Coast, but yeah,
What did you think when you first heard that?
Well, the first thing I said to my wife was that he really was all about that One Direction. And she didn't find that funny. Yeah, she shunned me for about an hour.
One Direction, that's down.
Yeah. But yeah. And actually, she sent me a video here.
The first thing I thought, I was like, who? Because I didn't really know all their names. I just knew.
Well, they're not even. Are they even together? No, they're not together. They're all separate now. They all do their own shit.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, we're still getting used to this, guys. Getting in the roll of things, and I might just edit this part out until we get into the roll of things. We can also do that too. But let's talk porn.
Right off. That's right quite the way to start a podcast.
Yeah, let's talk porn. Because I don't know if anybody else knows, but one of the states that I know for sure that has porn, or at least a majority of the good old Pornhub, UJIS, the top sites are banned in Texas. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. Did you know that?
I think I was in Texas and I tried to watch porn and it wouldn't let me. You have to enter your driver's license and get a age verified, like you have to be age verified like that hardcore where it's like you need to supply them with your ID.
So no more just yes or no on the screen anymore.
No, that's just a New York thing. Well, it's probably not just New York, but yeah, it's
Well, I mean, we are degenerates down here in New York. It probably is just for us. But
I don't know. I think it's the more religious states.
Is Texas really that religious?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess, yeah, southern people tend to be more religious than northern.
Yeah, I would say that.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I don't know.
Why do people from the north not give a shit about that?
It's like, I don't know what the reason really would be. I get the reason because you have to be age verified. So if you do verify your age, you're able to watch it. So it's like preventing people who are minors from watching it, which is good. I think that's a good thing. But
well, yeah, in this day and age, I mean, because there's not much censor that we do. That kids get, because I mean, without parents being consistently on their kids' asses about that shit, they're people. I mean, my kids especially, we have to be careful because I mean, even on the kids' YouTube, you got to be careful because there's some things that get slipped into there. And I mean, before I even had kids, I saw like the terror videos of like Mimi back in the day. I don't know if you remember that whole thing that went around. But it was like this video on YouTube that was this little Mimi character that basically told the kids to like harm themselves and to do bad things. And it was categorized like under kids and stuff. And a lot of parents were not like seeing or paying attention to what their kids were watching.
I do remember that, but
it was a scary little fucker. But it was, yeah. That's why I'm trying to limit my kids to as much YouTube as possible.
I wonder if there's any states that have it completely banned.
I don't think so. I don't think they can permanently ban it because they'd have to do it on a federal level, and it's not like it's like an app that's like for TikTok, it's a Chinese based app that they had reason behind that, and I still hear that they're in talks of trying to shut down TikTok still, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. It blew way past the popularity of what Vine used to be.
It's funny. I never got TikTok because I was always like, I don't want to give the Chinese people my information. But then I use like the sketchy streaming sites.
Yeah, I use the sketchiest thing. But I mean, to save a buck on going to the theater and stuff like that, and especially now, yeah, like back in the day, going to the theater was awesome. But nowadays, you want to be in the comfort of your own home. You want to be able to pause it if you have to go to the bathroom and shit like that. You don't want to miss out on the movie you just paid for and shit. And it's making a lot of people not want to go to the movies anymore, which sucks for anime lovers like myself, because
The theater's the best.
the theater's the only place where like I cannot find an illegal download for the most recent My Hero Academia movie. It's impossible.
It's only in
Every other like other movies that usually come out, like regular blockbuster movies, I can usually find that instantly online. But animes are completely different.
Huh. I don't think I've ever watched an anime movie.
For the longest time.
What are some of the best ones? I'm okay on that.
Okay. Well, the first one that I watched that got me into anime completely was Sword Art Online, but it was the concept more or less got me into it, because the concept was that it was a VR game or a VR mobile device that literally puts you in the world of the game. Like physically, you could feel everything and stuff like that. And it started out as a movie, and basically 50,000 kids get online for this game. Everyone's in the lobby, you know, ready to start the game. Everyone's at this congression. And then the dude's like, haha, you guys can't leave. Also, if you die for real. And so these kids and all these people get stuck in there for like years until somebody finally beats the game and lets everybody out.
What's that called?
Sword Art Online. But it goes from that into a whole government organization that is it's fucking insane. It's such a good show that they've come out with a couple of spin-offs, and they're doing multiple seasons of those, which is not, you know, very common, especially nowadays. Things drop off very fast. I mean, the amount of Netflix shows that have one season.
Yeah, true.
But more or less, I feel like that's just Netflix giving like every idea a shot. They're like, maybe we can make some money this way, that way.
They do seem like they come out with new shows like consistently.
Not all of them are great. I will say this, but there has been a few that have been good. I gotta think of any off the top of my head, but there's a few that are good.
Have you watched any good, because it's October, any good scary movies?
I watched Beetlejuice. Did you see the new Beetlejuice?
No.
I will say this.
I heard people liked it.
Yeah, it definitely lived up to the original. Tim Burton and what's his face? Michael Keaton did a very good job on keeping everything like minuscule for effects and everything like that. So
Nice.
like you still had the little midget heads and stuff like that. They all look practical and shit. And Michael Keaton, for being as old as he is, to get back into that character just like that is pretty fucking crazy. I mean, in the past 3 years, he's came back as Batman and he's came back as Beetlejuice.
When was he Batman?
He came back as the alternate version of Batman in the Flashpoint movie, where he was Bruce Wayne's father, and instead of Bruce Wayne being alive in that universe, he survived, and he ended up killing the robber, and then his mother went insane, and she became the Joker.
What was it? Flashpoint was it?
Yeah, it's basically it's a Flash movie where he goes back in time and saves his mom, and apparently that fucks a lot of shit up in their timeline. So
you watched that show too?
Yeah. I mean, the Flash, or
well, you said Flashpoint.
Well, that's a movie. Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yeah, they just came out. It was the one with Ezra Miller that took forever when he kept getting into a shit ton of trouble. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
The dude from Harry Potter, or the Fantastic Beasts, that dude. He got in trouble for hitting a girl. He got in trouble for yelling at people's faces, drug indecency, a bunch of shit. Dude.
Which Harry Potter guy?
So in the Fantastic Beasts, he plays
I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts.
Okay, well then you're not gonna know. I'm trying to think of what else he's
the main guy.
No. He plays. I don't even know the Harry Potter characters like that. He plays the character that is in truly a monster, but like he has a human form. I don't know. Harry Potter is fucking confusing.
You know all the Harry Potter characters though, just not Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, no, I know the regular Harry Potter. Well, for the majority.
That's why it threw me for such a loop, because I feel like if you can't say Fantastic, you can't say it's Harry Potter if it's Fantastic Beasts. It's like,
well, I mean, you can, because I mean,
same universe,
the same school, same universe, and what's his face is in it, Dumbledore.
Oh,
so,
there.
But it'll. Have you seen that they're coming out with an HBO series reboot of Harry Potter.
No. What do you mean?
Like they're coming out with a new thing where a new person's gonna be playing Harry Potter, and it's
They're
like
gonna ruin it.
I know
They're gonna
they're
just like they
doing a
do
lot of
with
the same
everything.
things that Disney does, where they reboot things or try and do more sequels to things, and they just ruin it.
Oh, that's horrible news. You know, Star Wars did it, and I really wanted it to be awesome, and it wasn't.
Were you an Indiana Jones fan?
No.
Because the last two movies that they came out with basically fucked the entire goddamn movie sequel up because it went from realistic to magic, and it was like, and oh no, I'm sorry, it went from realistic to aliens to magic.
I think I saw the one with aliens. Temple of Doom.
No, it was
Crystal Skull.
yeah, the Crystal Skull. Yeah, that's the one with the aliens, and then the most recent one, which is I think it's called Out of Time or whatever. Um, basically, Indiana Jones goes back in time with like this thing or whatever with these people to a great battle that's happening. Like I forgot when or whatever, and then I'm pretty sure Indiana Jones, if I remember correctly, stays in that time. So like that's where he like I said, it went from normal, find the treasure and stuff like that, protect it from the Nazis, the bad guys, the Russians, whatever it might be, to complete horseshit. It was not good. But again, Disney has done a lot to shit. But one thing I will say, Disney and like ABC in that area have done good is that they've given the people that have left like ESPN. I don't know if you've seen like how many people they've let go or gotten rid of in the past like few years and shit.
ESPN?
Yeah, like their news reporters and shit.
No.
Like you saw the whole thing with Shannon Sharp having sex on live.
No.
Bro, he had his Instagram live on and he was fucking either his wife or a girl or whatever it was, or stuck in the mirror or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, I remember it was a very vague, confusing ending. Like you didn't know what the fuck happened.
Well, they didn't explain that much to begin with. Like, what the fuck was this mirror? Like,
I
what
did
the
like
thing
that is
behind
a
it?
good scary movie though. I think I
Um,
would give that one a solid 8.52. Like
see,
it's good though. Like throughout it, you're like, oh shit, like is that
cool, and it's kind of interesting. But
I got a good question for you.
what
Out
is
of
it?
all of the horror movie monsters, other than Chucky, because like I don't think would you be afraid of Chucky?
Well, yeah, that's actually like one thing that like, scarred me as a child is Chucky. I can't deal with Chucky.
Just like
I
kick
couldn't even
him.
dress my kid as
Yeah,
Chucky
what
for
is he?
Halloween.
How is he gonna kill you? He's a doll.
It's the fact that, well, no, first of all, in this day and age, let's talk about this.
It's
No, if you went on a boat,
once that person dies, it comes back to you.
but the thing has
Like,
to follow you and touch you. If it doesn't touch you, then it keeps following you.
yeah,
So if you're on a
I get what you're
boat in
saying.
the middle of the ocean, what the fuck is it gonna do?
So yes, I've thought of that too, but it can still get to you. Like
All right,
that's not safe if you're on a boat,
all right.
and you would lose your mind if you had to live on a boat for the rest of your life. You know?
Well, I mean, I gotta think of like one that actually is like trying to kill you. I mean, it.
Pennywise the clown.
Yeah, because I mean, the at the end of it, the real only thing was just belittling the motherfucker. Was it was the trick to everything? Was calling him a little
But you
bitch.
don't know their tricks. You know, like that your choice is Pennywise.
I'd say Pennywise because I mean, Pennywise has always been a thing that I've like. Well, I've liked the movies ever since I was a kid and stuff like
I
that.
feel like that would be one of the real life more terrifying ones to get chased by
You would
a demon clown.
You would think no. My thing would be because I don't believe in like ghosts and shit like that. So like, if there was an actual ghost, then that was trying to kill me, then that would pretty freak me out because that's something I couldn't comprehend.
Yeah.
Because I've also came. Well, I might have heard this theory from someone and then claimed it as my own. I don't remember, but uh, I believe that what people perceive as ghosts is just because scientists have proven or not proven, they say or state or whoever how they know this, I don't know, but that there's 12 dimensions that are in reality. So what if it's just a dimensional what do you call it? Kind of like how our tectonic plates rub up against each other like an earthquake. Same type of thing where it's two boundaries rubbing into each other and you're seeing the other side. I mean, that's more or less what I think it is. And then also a majority of it is people, because I mean, a lot of the perceptions when people see ghosts and stuff like that is when they're tired, when it's at night, it's when they can't see well. So, I mean, there's plenty of things that
You
go
never
on.
had any paranormal thing happen to you ever?
Nope,
I have.
never. I've never seen anything so much. I mean, I remember when Brandon Williams told us that story about his dad or whatever that had it on camera that watched like silverware be lifted up into the air and be thrown, but
Mm.
I've never seen personally with my own eyes.
So something happened to Matt and I one time in his old house up on Onondaga Hill,
Okay.
and I can't explain what happened.
His,
And I have
his
another good
mom's
story,
old
too.
house?
Yeah, his mom's old house. Matt and I went there after school, and we were just gonna make some sandwiches. So him and Matt has like multiple ghost stories about that house, like that happened to him. But this is one that we're both involved. We're both making a sandwich. Like his old kitchen had like two different sides with counters. We're both on one side making sandwiches. On the opposite side of the kitchen on the counter, there was like a sugar jar, a jar of something else and like the toaster, and the jar of sugar that was full of sugar out of nowhere tips over and rolls. And Matt and I are standing shoulder to shoulder. We both look at each other, look back, see what's happening, and we both look at each other and go, ghosts. And then we just ignored it and we carried on with our life. And then like the next day, I brought it up. I was like, so like that sugar jar in your kitchen though? And he was like, yeah, man, like I really think that that was like a ghost. Cause like what would have like it's like how
Does he have cats?
no, no, dude. I've gone through every possible. There weren't vibrations. Like there was no bumping. Him and I were literally standing there making a sandwich, chilling, and that happened. And I just, I'm just like,
All
I
right,
don't know.
I don't
how.
have an
And
explanation
we were
for
both
that.
there. Yeah, it was just weird, dude. Like nothing could have tipped that over and made it roll. You know, it didn't just like. It wasn't like on the edge of the counter and fell off. It was like in the back, tipped over and rolled.
Is there any like ever like any other thing that not doesn't have to be like ghost related, but is there anything that ever shocked you like you witnessed
I
that
have
you
another
didn't?
ghost story.
What?
This also other witnesses, so I just can't explain what happened. I was with my brother and my friend Frank. You know Frank.
Yeah.
It was and Lane. Remember Lane? So it was back when I lived on Barclay. And you remember how my old house was?
Yeah.
Like in the backyard, there was the hill.
Yeah.
And you'd go through the woods, and there's East Hill.
Yep.
So we're like playing
None of
basketball.
you know what we're talking about, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's. I'll paint a better picture. It's like in your backyard. It's just like a big hill, and that's where the woods start. And so we were running up the hill. We were like hanging out. And we were like playing football or something. And then we decided like to go through the woods and maybe to go to East Hill. And I get to the top of the hill first, and then Frank comes up after me, and then my brother Dylan, and Lane never ended up coming up. But what happened when I came up the hill is I like was looking down the trail, and I see this like white. The best way I can describe it is imagine like a shopping bag, like a plastic bag that you get your groceries in.
Yeah.
A white plastic bag turned upside down, so it's like that shape, right?
Right.
That's what it looks like. It looks like a white plastic bag, and it's moving through the trees, probably 30 feet away.
Like Pennywise balloon.
Yes, and it was also like I can't describe like it was like foggy. Like it wasn't like a plastic bag. And I was like, that's a plastic bag.
Right.
It was like misty, foggy, and it gives me chills thinking about it, dude. I don't know what the fuck it was, and it's moving through the trees like this. And at the time, I had a cat named Scarface, and my cat was in the woods, and my cat was looking at it, and like he was kind of like sitting there, like staring at it, like watching what it was doing, and this thing is going towards my cat. And again, like it's like kind of far away, but not. It's like 30 yards away, so I can see what's going on. And
right.
It gets close enough to my cat where my cat hissed and jumped away from it, and it switches directions, and steady stream keeps going. And so as soon as we were watching
happened in the same exact location twice. That I have no explanation for, except for that we live in a simulation of some sort, and that shit got like bugged or some shit and just got stuck. And I mean, more and more. I mean, you see on TikTok now, we got the people.
We probably do live in a simulation, you know.
I mean, well, one thing I saw like some like a video where somebody asked AI if like you were a human, would you believe that we lived in a simulation? And it said no, because the what do you call it? Oh, see, this is bad when we're high. I lost it. It had to do with something with AI. Anybody, you guys can rewind and look back to that. But for speaking on like AI, the new Tesla robots or whatever, a lot of people are comparing them to the iRobot shit. Well, at least that's what.
They look a lot like it.
I will say that yes, but Elon Musk has been one of the front runners on saying that AI is dangerous and needs to be like done a certain way. So that's what makes me okay with his shit, because it's like he wouldn't make something that he would feasibly make or think was dangerous and then put it in people's homes. But if that shit can cook for me, fucking flour and feed my pets and do all that shit, like, and it's 30 grand. So honestly, and if it can watch your kids, that in comparison, doing a monthly installment might be cheaper in the long run than in some states for daycare.
You're no question, you're getting one.
If I had money, yes, I would get one in a heartbeat.
You could take out a loan just like you do for your car.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm already fucking up to the hills in bills as it is. Eventually making more money down the road, then yes, I eventually would want one of those, especially when I get like one thing that'll be cool.
It's so affordable that it's like anybody can get one if you pay $100 a month.
Well, you also got to think for the people that need like in-home care, like your mom, how you were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. It'd be perfect if it can use elements like that to assist people like that instead of. It'd be so, and plus if it can self-charge itself, which it says it can,
I think that will
and they can speak too, which is I didn't think
though.
I have.
It's weird to me that they all have different voices and unique voices, and another thing that I was like, one of them I was watching like kind of stuttered, and I was like, why would a robot stutter? Is it to be more human-like, or is it not a robot talking? Because it seemed like it was like voice people.
Oh, speaking. So what you think? They got people up in like a call center or some shit, like hooked up to a mic, just talking to
probably 10 people. You know, like how many robots were down there?
Probably that's true. I mean,
because it sounded like it, like they kind of interacted like as humans.
That is true. I mean, that.
So I saw it. I was like, I might be calling it a little bullshit right now.
I do get that, but also, I mean, AI is supposed to be in itself like when you make it individual. So I mean, when they imply it into the different robots, I would guess that they would probably have like, you know how back in the day Siri only had one voice. Now we have like a ton of voices that you can choose from.
My question would just be like, so Tesla, I guess, would be like the mother base of all the robots. Like,
it is. That's a good question. Like you're trying to think iRobot Tesla, style. Like, is it gonna be that? Is that gonna be?
Have to. That is the prime example of what you don't want to happen. Well, no, and it's like now that we're entering the age of there being robots.
Well, what is it worse having it all in one area, or would it be worse having it all separated? So then it get
all the robots.
So what I'm saying is that instead of having like one base, having multiple bases across the country.
No, I'm more so like like Tesla's in control. Like, could Tesla see through the robot's eyes if a worker wanted to?
That was actually something I was going to get to. Is another thing that could scare a lot of people is the fact that privacy and all this other shit, and then hacking and stuff like that.
Imagine your door is cracked like this, and you see your robot with one eye staring at you in bed,
bro.
What would you do? Deactivated.
And also like. they got to give you some kind of defense, like some kind of defensive thing or whatever, like just in case, like some kind of taser of some kind or whatever. I don't know.
All these things have to be thought of, though.
Yeah, and Elon Musk is one of those people where I feel like he has thought of a lot of that shit.
I feel like robots can't be given AI. They have to be more or so like on their own separate programs that aren't as like
Entangled.
No, I was gonna try to go for the word intuitive, but like make it worth it in that sentence. But I smoked, so
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be getting a lot of. I mean, within the last year, I want to say last year, maybe last year and a half, the first person who got the Neuralink embedded in his head
the other day.
Yeah, he talked about it on Rogan. He was on Rogan's podcast.
What did he get back?
When did he get back, or what?
No, so like he got it, but what did he get it for?
So he can only move like his like hand like a certain amount or whatever.
Paraplegic.
Yeah, so like he's in a chair, but he's able to hook up like his Neuralink to like his computer and stuff like that. And he said that to give him like a frame of reference to Rogan at the time of like how much better it is like using an interface that's implanted in your brain in comparison to like I I can't say that.
Did we just lose that? Did it just turn off?
What? No, it just said a new recording was created. It's still going.
I thought it just turned off.
No. What was I? Fuck.
Just like that, it's gone.
Fuck.
Inversion table.
Right, immersion table. Yeah,
You
back.
never tried one.
Actually, I did when I was younger because the kid down the street, his grandma had one in
So
her
you
like
haven't
room.
tried one with a bad back.
No.
It's incredible.
Oh, I can imagine. I hang upside down off my couch to feel somewhat of
You should get
a
one.
similar.
They're like $80.
I want to, but the only thing is that I fucking don't trust my kids. Just don't.
Yeah, that's
We need to get a bigger
They
place.
They lock. You could lock that thing right up.
Okay. Well,
Be
then
in your pocket, you know.
Well, the thing is that we need a bigger place too, because I mean our place isn't that
Yeah,
big too.
It is a bit. Oh, but I think that would really help with your back.
Oh
Truly.
no, I've heard from multiple sources that would
what
help.
it's like is it's like somebody's holding you by your ankles, so you're hanging there, and your whole spine just like goes the opposite way that it's so used to going.
I heard it's really good to do it for like 10 minutes before you go to sleep, and then 10 minutes when you wake up.
Yeah,
Because what it does is it stretches you out right before you go to sleep, and then it stretches you back out when you wake up.
there was a doctor that had a bad back and used an inversion table for like 20 years straight or something, and by the time that she was done with the experiment, she didn't have a bad back anymore. And I don't know, I'm making up that timeline. It could have been 5 years.
Well, another thing is do these people have scoliosis? Because that's one thing I do. Because not everybody that has bad backs have scoliosis.
I don't know the details, but it would probably help with scoliosis because it decompresses.
Yeah, I mean, well, the one thing that scared me is when I went to the chiropractor, they basically said that there was no reversing it. It was just more or less maintaining it. And I was like, well, that's gonna suck when I'm older, dude. Especially that's why I want to get out of New York and get some more warm before that happens, because I can already feel it when it gets cold. My bones.
Pay attention to your posture a lot when you're sitting.
I try to, for the most part. Right now, I'm not doing such a good job, but that's because of this chair.
These chairs are kind of brutal. I
Yep.
gotta say, I've been slouching, and it's just we're gonna have to invest. I'm gonna get some. Maybe this chair would be better next time. We'll get some comfier chairs. Maybe we'll do it more like chill surrounding.
Yeah, we can take this table down, and if you want to use like the coffee table, yeah,
we can even like do it. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
No mind us, people. We're just talking.
What time are we at?
We are at I want to say 36 minutes.
Perfect.
So one thing we have on our list, we wrote a bunch of shit down, by the way, guys, just so that we weren't, completely blank spacing. But one thing you didn't know,
we're forgetting our conversations mid-sentence.
I know it's bad. But let's try and make up for it. Phantom time hypothesis. Have you heard of this?
No.
So basically, what the phantom time hypothesis is between between the years of 614 and 9/11, it suggested that those years never happened and that we're actually living in the year 1727.
Okay, tell me more.
So, to go a little more on that, like, let me pull this up real quick.
So it's a whole conspiracy theory, or what is it?
So, let's see.
It's called the phantom time hypothesis.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is not loading. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So according to the phantom time hypothesis, it is actually not 2024. It is 1727. The years 614 to 9/11 never happened. They were simply added to the calendar to push the date forward artificially. The theory comes from the German author Herbert Illig we're just gonna say Herbert.
Very German.
Yes, who detailed the theory in 1996. 1699. Or it's fucking with me. It's telling me that's what it's doing. But
I don't know, man.
He lays the blame of the missing time to the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II, who conspired to change the date so Otto could be emperor in the year 1000 to legitimize his reign. Okay, I mean that kind of makes sense, and if that is true, but I mean we do a lot of dumb shit with time. I mean we're still doing daylight savings time, and I still don't understand what that is.
What's the year span that they're saying that they arranged?
From 614 to 9/11.
614.
So basically almost 300 years.
1600s to 9/11.
Yep.
Like September 11, 2001.
No, like 9/11, like 911.
Are you talking BC?
No, I'm talking about AD.
Okay, so I'm having a hard time following you. So
Okay, so
saying
from 614 AD to 911 AD, or yeah,
614.
yep.
That's 1,000. That would be later than 9/11. It'd be 9/11, and then it would be.
No, that's with BC. BC goes from that to the zero. It goes from increasing to zero.
Wait.
It goes from zero to increasing.
Wait.
Because remember Jesus.
Wait. Well, say the numbers again.
Okay. The number of the years is from 614 to 911.
Okay. 614.
Yes.
Not
So we went from 1980 to 1990. We increase in time.
okay. I understand now. I thought for this entire time it was 1640.
No.
1640 is what I thought you said.
But yeah, it's an interesting theory. So I mean, it wouldn't change anything. It would just change the fucking calendars, and I mean that would just be such.
It was Roman times.
Yeah, it was around the Ottoman Empire, right, or the beginning of the Ottoman Empire. I'm not good on history. That was one of my worst fucking subjects.
Sorry, I was so lost there for a second. Now it makes a lot more sense.
But yeah, so that theory came up earlier when I was looking around and stuff. But let me go back to my freaking list here. What the heck? Oh, there. Another thing I had down is it just says it says sun in your butthole. But apparently, according to doctors, yes, I did. According to doctors, showing your ass to the sunlight apparently boosts your energy. So to go a little bit further into that,
you have articles ready.
Yep. So here we go. Oh wait, hang on a second. It just went to the same one. Hang on. Stupid. Okay. Oh, never mind. Maybe it's on the same page as the same conspiracy, dude. Wait, what the fuck am I looking at?
You just saw an ad.
No, dude.
It was on Pornhub on the side. Sun your butt.
Sunning your butthole come on, dude. Sunning your butthole gives you more energy. Okay. Fucking what the fuck, dude?
I don't think it's true. Nobody should try it.
No, we're gonna look at this. Vitamin C you get from the sun, right?
D.
Oh, right.
C
vitamin
is from
D.
fruits, I believe. Yes. Orange juice says vitamin C.
Dude, when my kids get into older grades, they are fucked for their homework. But sunning your butthole gives you more energy. I mean, that would make sense why, the people that are openly just nudist, they have more energy, it feels like.
How many of those do you know?
I know none. I've only seen it in movies and shows. But yeah, I guess it boosts your vitamin D levels with energy and regulates your circadian rhythm, whatever the hell that is.
Circadian.
Right, you went to nurse school for a little bit.
Well, this is your sleep cycle.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Circadian rhythm.
I thought it was just your REM cycle.
No, REM cycle is when you dream. REM sleep is when rapid eye movement, I think is what it stands for. It's like you ever see somebody sleep and you see their eyes twitching?
Yes. Yeah.
Or even animals when they twitch in their sleep. That's REM. I think. I'm not a doctor.
I was apparently twitching like 2 nights ago. I kept my wife up all night. I never twitched or anything. I don't know.
Have you
what
ever
I was dreaming about.
sleptwalked?
No, I've never sleptwalked.
I haven't either, and I've only seen one person do it, and it was scary.
Who was it? Oh, really?
And yeah, it was like
she's a sleepwalker.
Well, at least when we were younger, I would spend the night there pretty often. But one time we were just watching a movie in the living room, and she just came downstairs, and she was just standing in the kitchen, looking at the living room, like just staring at us like this, like not moving, like a scary movie. And John was, "Oh shit, Ryan, she's sleepwalking." And I was like, "What are you talking?"
I'd be like, "Fuck, put her in closet."
Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, "Just like don't wake her up, like just let her." And then so she's just standing there, like just And I was like, "Can you throw a pillow at her or something?" He's like, "You're not supposed to wake him up."
Bro, that reminds me. You ever seen that skit that what's his name, Shane Gillis made about the sleepwalking cop?
I don't think so.
Dude, yeah, he has a skit where he's a cop that's like he's having a dinner party with like guests or whatever, and then he has to go to bed early because he has the next night. He goes to bed or whatever. They're still having dinner. Comes down later that night or whatever, and he starts like getting people's faces. He's like, and then starts doing weird shit, and like he starts taking and then somebody makes a noise or whatever, and he takes out his gun. And he's like, he starts looking around, and then he pretends to like fake shoot himself and stuff like that, and then he puts it in a dude's mouth. Dude, it's such a great skit. Shane Gillis is fucking hilarious when it comes to that things. He also has that one where if your plane was gonna crash, you wouldn't call the people you love, you call the people you fucking hate to tell them to fuck off. So, yeah.
That one's funny. I don't. What's his new show called?
Tires. Which was actually based off one of his skits on YouTube. I loved it. It was just up my alley of fucking laughter and fucking humor. I love the main character and Shane Gillis together. They are a dynamic duo. We used to like gang up on him when we were in school and stuff like that. It's the same way with Shane and them.
Devin's moving back to Syracuse.
I know.
He's got to be on the podcast.
Who he's working with the youth, doing something with like a program, like looking for people that fit the program's criteria or something like that. Yeah. So
I'm very excited.
He must have like quit his job after signing the papers for the house or something like that, because I don't know how they would have agreed to him if he didn't have a job at the time to take the loan for the house. That doesn't seem like that would have flopped. Well, I mean, back in like early 2008, it would have worked, but not now.
Yeah.
Do you even know what I mean by 2008 referencing that? I meant like the real estate the crash.
Right? Yeah. There's those memes where it's like, this is me in third grade when I should have been saving to buy a house.
Dude. And if you ever, well, you probably never seen it, but the movie The Big Short, where it kind of goes over that with Steve Carell.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it though.
It's pretty good because it goes more into detail of like what actually happened, and it was a bunch of idiots that weren't college graduates and stuff like that that were working at these hedge funds and just basically not asking for any income, not anything, and just signing over fucking houses and shit like that. And that's how it came to be. Because every time
the market today is crazy, dude. People waive inspections and they have to pay cash.
Really?
Well, the cash part, not sure, but no. John is trying. Not John. Down in Texas. Yeah, I don't know if we should be. This we can cut out, right? But
yeah.
I don't know if we should drop last names, especially if more and more people.
What I'll do is I'll bleep it out when I edit it.
Okay.
So then we can just say them. Yeah.
Just because I don't want to be like
right.
John lives in Marcellus.
right. But I thought he already bought a house.
No, they've been looking for a good amount of time, and
everything's super expensive here for not that good of shit.
It's not even that. It's once a house goes up, you put a bid on it, right? And then they're consistently getting outbid. And one of their strongholds, from what I think John told me, was they really don't want to waive the inspections. They want to make sure that a home inspection is done.
Have they ever looked at the flip code?
Somebody else is willing to step in front of them and say, we don't need a home inspection, we'll buy the house. And the seller will sell it. So people are able to sell their house as is. Like, whatever problems it has, it's yours now. And people are willing,
basically like selling a used car, like it's yours.
And that's where another area of that I've heard, and I don't want to drop names, but that very big company that I mentioned earlier, I heard is buying a lot of homes in America.
Tesla?
No.
What company?
See, I don't know if
I'll bleep it out. Just what's the name?
But my thing is I don't want to like be like dropping all these like crazy conspiracies because if for whatever reason they watch it, I'm gonna be on a list.
Dude, fuck it. Fuck it, come get us, motherfuckers. But what company?
I'm just gonna write it down.
Okay, write it down.
That way.
I feel like a bank teller, and you're about to rob me. Oh, okay.
Big company. They're buying a lot of homes in America.
Not in Syracuse.
Not in Syracuse, you said?
Not in Syracuse. I mean, that's one thing that I have a problem with this city is that there's so many condemned houses that are just like you drive past them and you're seeing shit in the fucking window, like trash up to there and stuff like that. It's crazy.
I think it's slowly getting better.
In some areas.
This is
yes.
from me from being around so much. Like, because I drive all around town all day, every day.
Right.
There are definitely still very shitty fucking parts. Like, the hood is the hood and, you know, the white trash. Like, there's so many people out there that just don't take care of anything and their lawns are overgrown and there's trash everywhere.
And then there's usually one house on the street that, like, actually gave a shit about their house and looks, like, prime and stuff like that. I see that occasionally through Syracuse. There's always one house that's, like, looks like it was copy and pasted there, like.
Yeah. And it's horrible, man. It's like I feel bad for those people because all they really need is just a little bit of help, I feel like. But at the same time, you know, I don't know.
The city hasn't done any favors for anybody as far as the agriculture, the bringing in new businesses, bringing in new, like, the amount of time that it took for us to get a fucking Costco, you know, and like that's like the only one for like miles. And then
what do you think's the answer to like cleaning up the city? Because there's neighborhoods that are just so like poverty is struck through them where it's like, you know, like we see there's houses literally falling down.
Well, the problem is that we should have street sweepers, but our streets are so fucked up that, especially in the city, it's impossible. And especially the way people park and stuff like that, because nobody cares. That's one thing too, is a lot of people in Syracuse just don't give a shit about everything. It's a common state or personality trait of a lot of people around here. At least that's what I've gotten to know from retail and speaking to people on a daily basis, is just a lot of people fucking hate their lives living here.
Do you ever realize like how many people there are? Do you ever think about this like in our area?
Let's move on to a different note. One other thing that I meant that I was talking to you before was about like the new Walking Dead or whatever. Because Walking have Walking Dead Daryl Dixon story season 2 Carol story.
How long would it take to watch all of that? Like,
they're like 6 episodes.
Oh.
They're not. Yeah, those aren't long. They're like limited series or whatever. So those aren't that long. And they changed it to now they're doing 3 shows, and I think they're doing one final movie where like they all finally meet back up together. Who knows? I mean, that's pretty much the age that we've gotten with like cinema and stuff like that, is that people establishing a universe and then continuously staying in that universe for a lot of different movies.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
Guardian angels exist; they're a real thing, or whatever. But humans can't see them. But guardian angels, they can see each other. But they have to be within a certain proximity to their host or whatever. So it'd be their point of view, kind of like an The Office type of comedy, where like they're dealing with the hijinks of their person that they're attached to or whatever, but also like talking and like interacting with the other guardian angels and shit like that too. I thought it was a cool concept because they've been coming out with like they had the Good and Bad Omen show or whatever with the demons and stuff, and then they had Supernatural that did well.
You would do a TV show, not a movie.
Well, it could be either, but that was just a concept. And then one short film that I thought a long time ago about, and I've always had it in my head, is it'd be like a point of view type film where it'd be the point of view. Well, you wouldn't know it until the very end, but the point of view would be, the of watching the camera angle would be of watching these two couples, like the struggles of them losing connection, arguing, getting physical, the breaking and everything like that. And then at the end of it, you find out the camera frame is a kid, and the kid has been witnessing all this and shit like that to show like the struggles of like what kids perceive when everything's going on. It might not be exactly what you think is being perceived and stuff. And I always thought that was a cool concept.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea.
What about you? You got any?
Wait, would that first idea that you had be you said a comedy?
Yeah, it'd be like
it's like the angels are bantering to each other.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like I'm trying to think of a show that did something similar. Kind of like I haven't watched it, but In the Shadows on Hulu with like the vampires, the parody on them. It's kind of like
the one with
like
Johnny
that.
Depp.
No. That was a movie.
That's yeah. If I had to, I've never really thought about it too much. I think I would maybe go for a scary movie. I think I could make a good scary movie. But at the same time, I probably couldn't make a movie.
Well, the thing with scary movies is scary. Well, in comparison to like any other genre, is you have to do a lot more research depending on what you're doing. Because you have to be like accurate on lore and sometimes another shit. I mean, not necessarily you have to, but like you have to be, up the same ballpark of what they're talking about.
I've always thought it was really interesting, like how, like whenever you watch a movie, at least for me, I never ever thought about like what went into making the movie, and it's pretty crazy that of like how much. And I think what helped me was music taught me, like, it's not like we just all play at the same time and hit record and like then we just
right.
It's like there's levels to it where you have to like do different takes. You have to get certain things in place, like the microphone, the lighting, and
So you like as a kid, you never because for instance, when I was a kid, I loved to watch the behind the scenes stuff on DVDs and shit. That was like one of them.
I never really recalled doing it.
Yeah, see, I was always fascinated by that shit. That's why I've always wanted to get into film and stuff because I'm fascinated with the different levels of producing and doing.
What does it take to get into film?
Well, I mean, I've already done some extra acting and stuff like that, so I mean, I've gotten somewhat into film. But like, as far as that, the closest thing for here is,
you know what you should do?
Backstage, which is
do a short. It's called a short film.
Yeah,
like a 25-minute film. Start with that.
I was the only
just to try it, it'd be a lot of work, a lot of time.
So I'd be ignorant, but like this, people around here would definitely not be the type of people that I want to be in the movie. Just because we have a lazy type of feeling when it comes to doing stuff around here, especially in the city. So I'd rather somebody be more professional.
I wouldn't be so quick to jump because, and the only reason I say that is because I used to know a person who lived in like the Westcott area, and that area is like full of a lot of students, and a lot of them are very artsy. Like whether they're into art or music, there's a lot of film people.
Yeah, you're right. I that's actually a good point. I completely forgot about the university aspect.
There's definitely like probably like clubs where people just talk about film and like just.
Well, yeah, I mean they're
do all that shit.
So, I mean,
but in terms of finding actors, I don't know.
Well, that and then also the program that I need to like edit them actually movie style type edit is, I want to say it's over $1,000 or something like that. It's a very expensive one, but it's what all major cinematic people use and stuff like that, and has all the major effects and stuff. But that's what I want because if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it correctly. Plus, my wife and I are looking into splitting a camera, like a decent camera and stuff like that, so then we can, because she wants to vlog and I want to use it for this and stuff like that. So I could probably use that for that. And then there's easy boom things and stuff. Plus, there's like the Go mics and whatever that you can buy from Walmart. Well, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll well, now I gotta think of what I did because I mean, I could do the kid thing. I just have to find some. Well, actually, you want to know what? I know two decent people that that would kind of fit perfect. I don't. I haven't talked to them in a long time, but they'd fit the profile of what I'm visualizing in my head. I'm gonna write this down later. Anyway, so, uh, well, do you have anybody that's down? Like, do you have any family members that live out of state?
Yeah, one of my aunts live in California. Another one of my uncles lives in Pittsburgh. And other than that, everybody. Well, actually, my aunt and uncle on my mom's side just. My aunt lives in Florida and Albany. Like, has a house down in Florida. So, but
Okay.
that's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, luckily you don't have anybody down suffering from the hurt. Well, if she's in Florida, then yeah, she might be.
She was in
there.
Naples. I guess their property was okay.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, they went down there.
Because I know my sister's parents-in-law, their place got I'm pretty sure totaled.
Oh, jeez.
And they live in Florida, but they live in like the coast area near the Gulf.
What do those people do? Do they retreat to some?
Well, a lot of people. I mean, they gave a lot of people ample time to leave. It's just the idiots that stayed behind that might get hurt and stuff like that. But the one thing that I always thought about when it comes to like hurricanes and stuff, especially in those areas, is like, what happens when you just buy a house?
No,
You know,
that's my. Well, either way, like So let's say we're living right now. We're in Florida.
Right.
This shit's gonna happen.
both my parents, my sisters, my brother.
Okay, that's fair.
Plus, I got Devin and I got friends here too.
True.
I would just book a Airbnb somewhere for them, or do them like a cheap motel for a long period or something like that.
Yeah, because you can rent a motel room for like up to like a month or so.
That I don't think so.
Well,
Speaking of like hotels, one thing that comes to mind is Nick Swartzen. I don't know if you heard how like he stayed like almost an entire year at a hotel during COVID.
Bro.
And like the bill
when I was in Texas. I gotta cut you off.
Okay.
When we were in Texas, we went to a Astros game.
Okay.
And we go to this little bar right next to the stadium right before the game because we're a little early.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk in this bar, and I go up to the bar. I'm like, I'm gonna get the first round. I'm gonna get all the guys a drink, and like it's a really crowded bar, and all the boys are standing behind me, and I'm at the bar waiting for a drink. And I think Joey tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Bro, you're standing right next to Nick Swartzen." I was like, "What?
Wait, what?"
And so I looked to my left. I'm hip to hip with Nick Swartzen.
Did you say hi?
Well, he was like, he had his back to me, and he was talking to two other guys at the bar. So I was sitting there like, holy shit, this is crazy. And like, I didn't want to be like that fucking guy to be like, Nick Swartzen. You know, like he was in the middle of a conversation. He was chilling in the bar without security. Like, I don't want to fucking.
Bro, what I would have done, which would have made him, I bet you would have got, it would have made him laugh, is I would have just had one of my buddies just take a picture with a flash of me on his back, just so that he turns around and you're just like, what? Nothing.
I bet he wouldn't like that shit, you know?
I've heard him on podcast. I feel like because I mean, he's a pretty chill guy. I mean,
so listen to the rest of the story. So
okay.
So we kind of go over to the left, and so he's wrapping up, and he leaves. He leaves alone, and he's walking by me, and I go, Nick Swartzen, you're the man. He looks at me, he goes, yeah, man. And I was like, Life complete, man.
Dude. Oh my god.
He looks at me and goes, "Yeah, man."
That reminds me of one dream that got crushed because it was right after COVID and stuff like that, and they were still iffy on like events and shit. And have you ever watched the Trailer Park Boys?
Not in its full entirety,
but like you've seen.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Randy from it was coming down to it was either Tony's sports bar or he was coming down to Sharky's or whatever. But he was coming down to do like a burger bonanza where like you could eat burgers with him and talk to him and just chill with him. He was doing a meet and greet, and it's been a dream of mine to eat a cheeseburger with that fat motherfucker. And so I was super excited to go, and it was only like $30 a ticket. And then they ended up canceling it, and they never ended up rescheduling it afterwards.
Who's the coolest person you've met?
Funny thing is, I was asked this in like last month on a different podcast. The most famous person that I've met face to face would be Raven-Symoné. I met her when I went to Disney when I was super young. I was like 10 or 11, and she was there doing some kind of Disney radio thing in the park, which I didn't know Disney radio was even in the park. And I was chilling with my dad, and my sister like comes around the corner and yells at like my mom something, and I didn't understand what she said. All I understood was something exciting's happening. I'm gonna run. So I ran after with them or whatever, and it ended up being Raven-Symoné. We ended up getting a picture that we have lost since then, which kind of pisses me off. But yeah, that's
That's cool though.
That's the most famous, like probably across the country. But as far as like locally, I went to Jerry McNamara's camp when I was a younger kid. And
count.
well, he was there every single like we literally
Yeah, but you were a kid. Doesn't count. Like, you met him, but you didn't meet him. You know,
we were sitting.
You weren't talking shit with Jerry McNamara. You know.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. So it was the best basketball game that I've ever been to. First of all, when I say this motherfucker was there working with like every single kid, I mean that motherfucker was there working with every single kid. He was not shy about talking to any kid or anything like that. Because like at Syracuse University, you know, if you pay for those giant ass training camps, they have like the red shirts fucking help out, and it's like, who the fuck cares about them? But with Jerry, it was different, and we would literally in between things, like when we were taking breaks, we'd sit on the floor in a circle and we'd literally chat with him. We'd ask him questions about playing for Syracuse back in the day, all a bunch of shit and stuff. And I asked him point blank, this is way back when, before he ever decided to go down the coaching route or whatever. I was like, have you ever thought about coaching? I was like, because I honestly think me and my mom talk about it all the time. You'd be a great point guard coach, like by far.
You think that was the moment?
I've reached out to him, people. I've reached out to him to get him on the podcast because I want to confirm it, because I want to know if he remembers me, because it's not just a fucking coincidence that he randomly gets onto the coaching staff of Syracuse literally some odd years later after going through the program of going through school to become a fucking I'm sorry. There's just no goddamn way, especially when he wasn't even thinking about that then, because he said he wasn't thinking about it.
Because he was still like a player, wasn't he?
No, this was after he was a player. This is when he came back after overseas.
Well, so like, what else was he gonna do, dude? Make pizzas? You know?
Well, he could have kept doing the camps and stuff like that. He would make bank doing that.
Not as much as a college coach.
Depending.
I don't know. I'm not saying that you didn't, but you probably were not.
We're gonna get him on podcast, people, and then I'm gonna figure this fucking shit out.
There's no way.
But
you were the reason that he was like
we also met Drew Gooden, an ex-Mets player, pitcher, because he came to Cooperstown Connection back in the day at the mall, which was interesting. That's back when the mall was actually, full of life. Now it's actually shutting down officially.
Is it?
Yep. So
that's actually tragic.
It really is, because like that's what I'm talking about like Syracuse and not giving a shit about anything. Like, we couldn't even make our mall fucking work, dude.
Well,
like without shooting it up or causing chaos and shit like that, or stealing or whatever it was. Like,
yeah, there was bad shit has happened at that mall. Like, really bad shit. So
yeah. Because
one of our friends used to work there, he would hear a lot of things, and like they pay news reporters not to like release stuff in the news. Like, if somebody gets like it's definitely, I don't know, this is not a fact, but I have allegedly there have been people who have been like raped in the parking lot in the parking garage.
I
like things like
wouldn't
that,
knock it.
or like certain assaults happen, like stabbings and different assaults, and like you won't see it in the news, like
Unless it's Jim Boeheim's wife.
right,
Yeah, unless she has a big name or something like that.
which is horrible. But my point is bad things have happened at them all, but it is a shame that it is closing because it's like a staple to Syracuse.
Well, yeah, they were like their whole plan was to make it like Mall of America.
What are they gonna do with it?
That's another thing too. I don't know. Are they gonna demolish it? Are they gonna?
That would be cool to watch.
Yeah, that would be cool to watch. But I mean, it's so big. I don't know how the hell they would do that.
It's not. It's on a sinking part of. Like it's not on solid ground. The light sinks, like I think over an inch every year.
Dude.
In elevation. That is crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, you want to know what's even crazier is when you go down past the mall, past the sewage plant, and you see at night that just roaring fire coming out of the fucking pipe, and you're just like, that's just burning shit. That's all that is. Like, oh my god, that's why it smells so bad over here.
Yeah, it's gnarly, dude.
I remember the first time I saw that, I thought I was tripping. I was like, what the hell is that?
Imagine a universe where Onondaga Lake was clean.
I tell my kids all the time. I said, too bad that like the lake would have been amazing, guys, for you guys to learn how to swim in and stuff like that. But it's the only thing you'd find at the bottom of there is garbage, which is sad. I mean, they've done a good, decent job on cleaning it up over the years, but still, I mean, it's past the point of being able to be back to normal. It's always going to have that really ranky smell, which is weird how they are trying to make like walking trails around it. It's like, I don't really know.
We are lucky though to be surrounded by it. So it's not like the closest other lake is what?
Skaneateles.
Is that the closest one from here?
I'd say. Well, Green Lake.
Otisco.
Green
Lakes is awesome.
My wife has asked me to bring them there.
Have you not been in a while?
I haven't been to Green Lake in a very long time now. The only reason I said no to bringing or to going there this time around was because the kids still, they say they want to get wet. They always say they want it. They want to go under. They want to go under. Then when we get to it, they freak the fuck out and they never want to do it.
They don't want to go underwater.
Yeah, it's the same thing every time. Like right before we went to the water park, she was like, "I want to ride every big water slide, Daddy." We get there and she almost couldn't go down the first one. I literally had to trick her and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna be on right behind you," and then I just like sent her.
I wonder what the best, like, how do you teach a child how to like conquer that fear? Because it's a big thing that every human has to learn. Like, just like when you're scared, jump. Like, do it. That's when you need to go.
That's one at Darien Lake, dude. I did not realize was so high. We went up there and I had her next. I was holding onto her for dear. I just had so many images happening in my head where like this is gonna be like an episode of 911 where we just fucking fly off or some shit.
I just don't want to. Like,
because your body's gonna pay for it later on.
No, I just don't. I've seen the videos where the carnival rides crash. And
well, we've had one crash here.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I just look at it. I'm like, these fucking guys got here a week ago and said these machines.
Year after year.
Did you go this year?
No, we didn't go this year.
It wasn't too bad this year. I was at the Rick Ross concert and
that got canceled, didn't it?
No,
because of a shooting.
It was so there wasn't a shooting.
Yeah, it was a fake.
I was there and I went alone because I was like, I just want to kind of go see Rick Ross. So I went there alone, and I was there and I watched like 4 or 5 songs, got what I wanted, you know, and so I left.
What songs did he play?
Couldn't tell
Yeah,
you.
Rick Ross is one of them artists. Where
It
you
was
just,
like a couple of his bangers, and then the other three were. It was funny because like, and this is why I left early. A lot of his performance was like, because he's a feature in a lot of songs, a lot of really popular songs. So it would be like a Drake song, and Drake's rapping, but he's just dancing, and then his part would come up, and he'd do his part, and then it's just back to him like vibing to Drake.
that's
Or,
what
like, and like Lil Wayne like was another song, and like nothing wrong with that. Like obviously Rick Ross very talented, very successful, but like as a live concert, I was like, all right, like I saw what I wanted.
that's a common thing with a lot of live artists, well, live rapper artists, is that they don't. The only people that I've seen that do like their full length things and stuff like that,
Red Hot Chili Peppers are crazy live.
well, yeah, bands are better live than rappers and shit like that, and singers. You know, one singer I can't stand, and people are gonna be against me on this, is that new Sabrina Carpenter dude. I literally cannot stand her. Her songs are so bad; they're not even music, guys. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
A lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people really like her music.
It's elevator music. That's the
I'd say
music
that
you would
song,
listen to in an
Espresso, is
elevator.
pretty catchy.
That is a song that I can imagine me being in an elevator and being like it's I just that, and then also, I mean, she was on Boy Meets World, which blew my mind. I didn't realize it was the same girl. And then she's doing all this like sexual innuendos at her concerts and stuff like that, and that's a majority of why her concerts are popping off, and it pisses me off. It's the same thing with like, I mean, you know, nothing against Cardi B, but and like some of the bigger artists, but a majority of people go because they get to see you in person, not just because they get to hear your music. Unfortunately, it's a sad news, but that's the majority of the time the case, at least in my opinion. I'm not sexist at all, guys. I promise. My wife would kick my ass if I was. But when it comes to that, that's one thing that girls will always have a pullover for dudes, is that they can sell sex. Guys, they can sell sex, but you have to fit to a certain T to sell sex. Like if you were to be an Abercrombie and Fitch model back in the day, you had to fit a certain T. You know, you had to have the abs here. You know, the V going down here.
I thought you were talking about like male strippers.
Well, male strippers are still not even that popular, too.
I don't know.
In compare, I mean, you don't see as much male strip clubs around here. I mean, except for Wonder Bar. That's the only like gay bar that I know of around here.
Tracks.
Where
That's like the oldest one in Syracuse by far.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, that's been around forever. It's near what the heck is that place called? Not Dinosaur. It's like around.
Oh, Limp Lizard?
No, it's not a barbecue place. It's it's a restaurant. I'm gonna think about it for 7 more seconds. I want to go. Oh, it's gonna bother me so much.
I hate when that happens. Where you have it on the tip of your tongue and you just can't fucking pull it.
There, man.
Here's an interesting thing. Cause I've had this experience before, but do you have somebody that like you're good friends with, or that you're best friends with now, that you initially when you first met couldn't stand, or like for a long period you guys were not getting along? We don't have to give out any names.
Yeah, I was gonna say you. Just kidding. The weird thing for me is like I really don't think I've made a new friend in 10 years.
Really? Not even like through work or anything?
Everybody that I hang out with, like, because that's what I would consider my friends. Like the people that I hang out with are my friends. If it's like people I see at work, like they're my coworkers. Like if I stopped working there,
I'm the same
I wouldn't.
way.
Yeah, like if I wasn't working there, I wouldn't be friends with you. You know, I wouldn't talk.
Right.
So all the people that I hang out with, I've known for 10 plus years.
Right.
Easily, all of them, which is kind of weird to think about. You know, like I haven't integrated any new people.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I've had a few actually like come and go throughout the years and stuff like that that have like kind of fickled out and stuff. But for majority, I mean, it's just, you know, the main peeps from CYBA, you know. It's for real.
And that's another reason is that people probably should move out of their hometown to just like have to do that and like have to meet new people. Because like the reason I feel like I haven't is because I just am part of like it feels like we're just a clan. Like,
well, I feel like you got more of a chance with CYO because you were playing, different churches that were all over and stuff like that. So you had more of like a reach for like different people that you guys got to interact with and stuff.
You're talking about being friends with people though?
Well, I'm saying just in general, like just interactions and then becoming friends. Because I mean, there's plenty of people where I've played like sports against from like other teams and stuff where like I've ended up becoming friends with down the road that I didn't know before.
I can't think of anybody like maybe at that time, but nobody that is definitely still in touch nowadays.
So the reason I ask this is
I have a lot of music friends nowadays. That's what I would say is I actually do have friends, people that I know, right? Like I don't hang out with them, but if I wanted to ask them a question, I could text them. Is that friends?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What defies a friend? Somebody you can lean on.
That's
we all need.
I mean, well, one thing like that I if I haven't talked to them within like the last like or well, one thing, no, if I haven't known them for a certain amount of years, then if I haven't talked to them for a certain amount of time, then I don't talk to them or whatever. But there's people like you, Devin, and stuff like that where I can go, a long time without talking and then just get right back into conversation with.
Yeah.
So, it's a little different in that aspect. But the reason I brought that up is because our late friend DJ, when me and him first knew about each other, we literally could not stand each other. He wanted to fight me because of a girl that we both had in common, love interest back in the day. But
does it start with an A?
Yes, it does.
I saw her at Blarneystone the other day.
God, what black guy was she with this time?
Oh, cut that. Please cut that. That's not a good thing.
We are not talking. We don't know who we're talking about.
I think anybody that knows you and me
would probably know.
Like her would, if she ever were to watch that.
Hey.
That makes more sense.
So, but anyway,
I didn't think you had a harsh feeling towards her.
Oh no, I can't stand her.
That makes a lot of sense.
People on my list back in the, that I've kept over the years. There's her. I'm not gonna get other names, but there's a couple other people that I can think of right off the top. So many times during high school that they were on my list. The amount of times that I said that too, and I'm a white dude, and I didn't get arrested for like trying to shoot up a school. That's insane.
Well,
I mean, it's a different age nowadays, I mean, we have way more school shootings. Actually,
do you remember the bomb threat freshman year?
I do.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and
who was the one who was behind that?
What's your memory? Or I don't remember his name.
It was like Ouijan.
I remember when I found out, I was like, that makes sense. That's what I remember.
Well, I didn't even know the person that did it. I just knew that he was like some kind of degenerate or whatever. That was just like a loser that just did it for, I don't know, shits and gigs or whatever.
There was no bomb.
I remember Scott's brother was the one that found the note, and everyone was like, "You saved us!" Oh shit, sorry. But yeah. And we had to leave early that day, which was nice. But we had to sit in those buses for forever while they had to check the school and shit like that. But even though if a bomb's gonna go off, I don't know why they had us chilling right next to the school. Like, okay,
dude, that's what I was thinking about today. Like, for some reason, it crossed my mind because I painted today, and I was just thinking about things, and it crossed my mind that
when you're painting, your mind wanders.
And I was like, I feel like if I found out that my kid was sitting on a school bus next to the school, that's in the bus parking lot, which has huge fuel tanks exposed,
and we were I don't know if you remember, but we were right next to the garage too, the bus garage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we were next to all the other buses too.
Exploded. It's like I wish back then I just was like, my name is Ryan Madigan. I'm walking home. I'm not staying here. Suspend me as you want to, because I'm not staying on this bus.
Well, that's
But
what I would tell my kids nowadays. Like I can't,
just
I
leave.
can't imagine dealing with that now. That's one of the things we feel
But I
like.
think the reason they don't want you to do that is security protocol.
Well, probably that too. Plus, they can't keep
Like, imagine, like,
tabs on who they released or
Right,
whatever and stuff,
right, like-
and they feel liable.
Like, whoever's missing.
Because then if the kid gets hurt, it's the school's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my liability.
But speaking of that, within the first like month or like I want to say first 2 months of school now, we've had 2 or like 3 different text alerts and stuff like that regarding our school district with our kids about threatening texts and stuff like that and shit regarding possible shootings and stuff. They all ended up being not real and stuff like that, thank God. But still, we didn't end up sending our kids to school that day. We just said fuck it. Rather you miss a day of school than
It's a very
miss your
scary
life.
world. What do you think is the solution? How do you fix this problem?
The problem with school shootings?
Yeah.
That is a heavy duty question there.
It's extremely.
Well, I'll go back to what our good friend Zach said back in the day. Get rid of all the guns. Have everyone have an individual sword. Every person gets a sword. Then there can't be mass shootings because everybody's going to have a sword to protect themselves. So then if one person with one sword can't just massacre a bunch of people with swords, it's not going to happen.
So you're saying we have to rearrange our constitution?
Yeah, but I mean that would have to go with the nuclear warheads and all that other shit and stuff like that. Which I mean, we know North Korea, they're never going to let that go. And same thing with China and Russia and everything. There's really no fixing it.
Bottom line, you think that? Well, here's my take. It's like
unless they just don't do school in person anymore.
It's impossible to get rid of the guns. I think I've heard a fact that there are more illegal guns in America than there are legal guns.
I'd believe that. So
like getting rid of the guns, the gun owners have to turn in their guns. It doesn't get rid of the gun problem. You can go to you can go find somebody to sell you.
You can make your own gun at home.
3D.
Yeah, that's another thing too. 3D printers have become more dangerous too because
you can just have your robot build it for you nowadays.
I also heard one time that somebody figured out how to like attach like a machine gun to a drone, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's all you need to shoot up a school is a fucking drone, and then just be at your home and chilling. Like it's crazy the newer technology that we get, the more crazier sci-fi life gets. Even though it's just back in the day we thought we were going to be flying cars.
It's a very sad world that we live in, and the reason for that is because as human beings, as you're a parent, as myself being hopefully a future parent, it's sad that we have to be afraid and worry about our kids going to get education.
That is true. It's one of those things that we never thought about. We don't even think our parents thought about it when we were little.
It's a privilege because there's many other countries that have always had that.
Right.
There's many countries that have really never had peace. So it's a little ignorant for me to even say that because that.
But coming from our standpoint and our lives, yes,
that's what's sad.
I mean, and some people, there's part of, certain areas that we've progressed in a positive way, such as, I guess the inclusion of, all people and stuff like that, all shapes, forms or whatever. And, also, like the Me Too movement, coming to terms with, predators that are, in high stature and stuff like that.
I think that predators should be stoned in the public square. As punishment.
That or put them in a Squid Games.
Yeah.
So then we can watch.
Would you watch though?
I would watch. I would 100% watch. As long as they didn't show dude falls, they just follow it with the camera. Yeah, like they wouldn't do that. They would do it. It'd be like the Wipeout games. Like you see them hit the thing and fall, but you don't see them like hit the floor. You see them swimming back.
You see them hit the water all the time.
Sometimes you don't.
So that would be the same thing. But sometimes you see a little splat.
Yes, a little splat. But I mean, because there was also, I don't know how real this was, but there was, I want to say like talks, or like there was some article where people were talking about a billionaire or something was trying to get together like a real Hunger Games or something on like on an island and get people together. It was like a Russian thing where they were gonna actually film it and people were gonna be able to watch it.
I'm sure that's happening.
Oh, on the dark web,
Yeah,
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Like somebody rents a big warehouse and just like has a murder fest.
Actually, speaking of the dark web, did you know that the dude who created like the dark web or whatever, he ended up getting sued for like everybody else's stuff, like because in conjunction they were using his stuff.
They know who made the dark web.
Yeah, I forgot what the hell his name is.
That doesn't seem even possible.
I believe that's what I heard. Hang on. Who? Yeah, Ian Clark. So it started out as a that's interesting. It started out as a software application that allowed users to anonymously communicate and share files online. It was originally called Freenet.
Freenet.
Sounds like Skynet. But
It's coming.
But yeah, he basically did what he was trying to do was what Richard tried to do in Silicon Valley, which was basically create a decentralized internet where it wasn't run by corporations, you weren't ads, there wasn't people selling your information, it was all autonomously free to the user, which is technically what the dark web is, but the dark web is also turned into, especially if you know certain areas and where to get to, it's become a gruesome and terrible place to go. Because I mean, there's sex trafficking that goes on there, drug trade, bunch of shit and stuff like that. It's called the digital. It wasn't him. Sorry, the person who created the digital Silk Road to sell drugs online. He got sued. It wasn't him. My bad. But that was interesting anyway. He got sued for everybody that had sold drugs on his shit because he, in conjunction, I guess, was like responsible for it. But it was the amount that they were suing him for was just astronomical. It's like one of those things where you're like, did you even have to give him that high of amount? You could have given him a little lower than that, and it still wouldn't have been like the same amount. Same where like the people get over 200 life sentences plus 36 years. It's like, what? I don't really get that. Just say till you die. Like, what's the point of that?
What are your thoughts on assisted suicide? Like voluntarily getting the lethal injection.
Well,
you think that there should be certain conditions in place.
Didn't Canada just legalize that in Toronto or something?
Yes, and I think, and then I also think that Switzerland or the Netherlands.
Switzerland, I could see.
Like, if you're depressed, you can be like, fuck it.
Yeah. So the only thing with that is that you're going based off the standpoint of somebody thinking that they know whether or not they're good or not.
Right. It's a mental health problem.
And if they're already in a mental health problem, they're not good on they're not even under our understanding of their own status. So them making a decision on whether or not to end their life, I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. Because it could have taken just one more person to talk to them that could have just switched things around. There's plenty of things that could go wrong.
I guess the argument is somebody who's in that state. I don't think anybody ever should. I think it's never an option. Let me make that clear before I say this next part. It's never an option. You should always get help. There is help. If you are somebody that is suicidal and you're like set on like really wanting to do it, right? Like you've done a lot and you just really are still in that place. Like, and like some of the most, from the public's eye, like Robin Williams, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, and many, many more. Like you would never expect
Liam from
them
One
to
Direction.
Do it. Yeah, who knows, right? Who knows what really happened? But anybody can do it. But my point is maybe somebody would rather get a lethal injection and tell their family and have their family be there, or like say goodbye rather than like doing it themselves. Because somebody who's suicidal, if they truly are and they're really determined, they're gonna like imminently do it, right?
So honestly, what I would think would be a stipulation for somebody to be accepted to be able to do that, I think would be that they would have to get 3 references from personal people that they know, where they say, they personally see it on their side that
I-
there is nothing,
I
because
think that's a good idea.
that would be a way to not only know that they have a support or whatever, but it'd be a way to figure out